Welcome to the Hawks Nest, a very spicy OCAA men's basketball matchup. The Hawks Nest, home of the Humber Hawks. We're glad to have you here with us. My name is Matt Hamill, alongside my broadcast partner, Zach Benoit. Zach, we here on game 2 of our doubleheader. We've kind of can't help but been pumping up this one and how excited we are for two of the best teams in the country squaring off here in a late regular season game.
Yeah, this has all the makings to possibly be the game of the year. These are the two top teams in the West Division. They are two teams sitting in the top 10 of the CCAA national rankings. And, well, they're two teams that have a very, very long history.
Yeah, and we'll get into that. First, let's take a look by the numbers. The St. Clair Saints and Humber have both only dropped 2 ball games all year long. That being said, St. Clair coming into this one riding a 10-game win streak for the Hawks. They're coming off a recent victory over the Redeemer Royals. Prior to that, a loss to Mohawks. So this should be, and again, look no further than those standings for the obvious implications, as we, of course, will see both these teams wanting to finish in that top spot, wanting that home court advantage as we get into the playoffs. And Zach, by the numbers here, one thing about St. Clair, they score a lot of points. They are the best three-point shooting team in the province.
Yeah, they are a very good squad. And let's look back to November 29th. That was Humber versus St. Clair, and the score was 91-63 for the Saints. That was up in Windsor. Again, a lot of stipulations on the line for this game. If Humber wins, they hold on to that number 1 seed. They hold on to control of the West. If St. Clair wins, they jump up and will take number 1 seed. Humber will look to the man on your screen. The reigning OCAA Player of the Year, Malik Grant, has been so good again this year.
Yeah, the Slim Reaper, he is a dangerous weapon for Humber. He can do so much. He's got the length, so defensively he's a factor, but it's in the offensive zone where Grant can oftentimes wow you. And we'll also look to some talent on the St. Clair Saints side that the Hawks will have to do their best to contain. And this man right here, Tia, who is a big unit and will be a key factor that the Hawks will have to game plan around. Let's throw it over to our player introductions, and we'll be back with you on the other side for some basketball.
Hey there, and welcome to the Nest here at the Humber Athletic Center. This is the OCAA Game of the Week, and it is between the St. Clair Saints and your Humber Hawks. It's now time for the starting lineups. First for the visiting St. Clair Saints. A 6'3" guard out of Toronto, Ontario, number 4, Jacob Masters. A 6'2" guard out of Windsor, Ontario, number 5, Urji Konami. A 6-foot guard out of Windsor, Ontario, number 7, Kyle Brown-Fazekas. A 6'7" forward out of Windsor, Ontario, number 14, Mazantia. And a 6'5" guard out of Windsor, Ontario, number 23, Troy Neckers. The head coaches for the St. Clair Saints are Brendan Sagan and Matt Sykes. And now, the starting lineup for your Humber Hawks, as put together by Omar Miles. A 6'7" small forward out of Brampton, Ontario, number 5, Malik Grant. A 6'3" shooting guard out of Hamilton, Ontario, number 8, Isaiah Brady Clark. A 6-foot point guard out of Rexdale, Ontario, number 12, Kwabena Entwi. A 6'6" small forward out of Toronto, Ontario, number 14, Adrian Aluyi. And a 6'7" small forward out of Toronto, Ontario, number 23, Benny Kazadi.
Well, there you have it. Our introductions complete, and we have two powerhouse programs getting ready to square off. The number 6 ranked team in the nation, Humber Hawks, on home court, taking on number 5 in those CCAA rankings, the St. Clair Saints. And so many fascinating matchups here, Zach. You look at just who leads the province in blocks. Well, it's Mazin Tia, gentleman we featured pre-game, and he'll be taking the tip, squaring off against Adrian Aluyi. Now, Aluyi's kind of like Humber's version of Tia for the Hawks squad, as he is also right up there, 4th in the province in blocks, field goal percentage as well. Both men are huge in that department. And here we go. That first possession gets away from both Humber, and then on the other side, the Saints turn it over.
They're trying to go quick. It looks like a light is out in the gymnasium.
And here comes the Hawks. Kazadi had a great performance just earlier this week against the Royals. We'll see if he's still feeling good. Aluyi loses the grip, and Tia scoops it up. Ball is deflected, but it is ultimately corralled by Troy Neckers. And Troy will, no, he won't be inbounding. Looks like it's going to be in the hands of Jacob Masters. And Zach, former Humber Hawk Kyle Brown-Fazikis, wearing the green uniform as he's taken his talents to southwestern Ontario.
Yeah, he went back home, back to Windsor, and Kyle Brown-Fazikis, a player who was so good with Humber. I mean, tremendous career.
And a tough pass there as Grant's effort is picked off, and Troy loses the grip, so quickly given right back to the Hawks.
So far early on, neither Humber nor St. Clair have really been able to get anything going. It has just been a tough run of things so far.
Aluyi from about the free throw line won't go. Still looking for our first bucket. It doesn't look like they're going to come easy here, as we saw quite the defensive effort in the women's game earlier tonight, and maybe defense will take center stage in this one. Early signs point to yes, as Tia muscles his way in, and he makes it.
Yeah, when in doubt, go to your big man in Mazin Tia, who's having another tremendous year. He's just been such a force. You mentioned the ability to block shots, but just that presence down in the paint is what's been key.
Yeah, he leads the OCAA in blocks, so we'll, of course, have to watch out for that. Aluyi gets the rock and makes it look easy.
Adrian Aluyi is a guy that can work so quick in the paint, and he likes to have those explosive moments right there. He just elected to go with just a simple layup.
You know, Zach, you have two teams that are ranked so highly, two top teams in Ontario, and number 5 ranked St. Clair, number 6 Humber nationally. So no surprise there's a lot of key players. As a good turnaround shot from Tia won't quite go, and rebounded by Kazadi, hands it off to Grant. And Tweed makes his way back into the middle. And with 8 seconds on the shot clock, Grant starts to make his way closer to the hoop. Turnaround shot, it looks good, but it's a little short in the hands of Masters. Masters kind of lobbed it up there. Tia wasn't on the same page. It's off the rim and taken by Humber, and Antwi not going to get the foul call, much to the chagrin of his coach, and now he's doing a little Blake Griffin impression, trying to throw that one down. No calls for Humber on any of their drives to the hoop.
Yeah, and both sides' coaches have been pretty animated to start. But this is kind of the start I was expecting. These two teams just to go really defensive heavy with how talented they are. You mentioned they're so deep with talent. And when you look at the lineups as a whole, you can't really picture out who's going to have a night where they just pop off.
We mentioned earlier the former Hawk, Kyle Brown-Fazikis. He's 4th in the OCAA in steals with 38 on the season. And when it comes to field goal percentage, nobody this year is better than the young fella taking free throws right now. Tia, best in the OCAA in field goal percentage with 72% on the season. Number 2 in the league is the man who just grabbed the rebound, Adrian Aluyi. So a great matchup there of two guys who convert when they get chances to shoot in the paint.
And yeah, you said it. Each player kind of has a carbon copy of one another, or each team, I should say. St. Clair, they have, you know, Maz and Tia. Humber, they have Adrian Aluyi. Quite literally carbon copies of each other. These two have just continued to grow as players, and they're just superstars right now.
Yeah, they certainly statistically accomplish very similar things for their respective teams, both with the field goal percentage, the blocks, grabbing boards. But again, we mentioned St. Clair is the #1 scoring team in Ontario, so we'll look for their offense to be something the Hawks will have to contain. Almost caught Burke sleeping there as he wasn't quite ready for the pass. Humber able to get it in the zone here. Grant hands it off to Adrian. And a pull-up shot, that's gonna get a good bounce, and it's in.
Aluyi working beautifully right there through tough contact and getting the basket. Look at this pull-up J by Fazikis.
Yeah, Kyle won't get that one to go his way. And what does it take to lead the OCAA in scoring? Well, for St. Clair, that's an average of 95 points per game. That's impressive stuff to keep that up over the course of the entire season. Wide open look here for Burke, and he nails it. For the first three-pointer of the contest.
Yeah, DJ Burke had his defender drop, and he had tons of room. Actually had enough time to take a second and be like, hey, I can take this shot, and he doesn't miss it.
And another response from the Saints, a 3 of their own.
That was Andrew Loyak who just drained that 3 in the corner.
And speaking of guys who are leading the OCAA in different stats, Loyuk is the #1 3-point percentage player in the league right now. And that was last touched by Tia. As you see, Aluyi and Tia in frame. And to keep it simple, to just add to the comparisons, they wear the same jersey number, Zach.
I didn't even realize that. Good call. Good eyes, partner.
In case you were not prone to draw the comparison in any other department, couldn't help but.
Just in case there wasn't enough to compare the two about.
Actually went to the same kindergarten part. No, I'm just making stuff up now, but looking in the zone. Lewis trying to keep a handle on it. It'll be the Hawks with possession. And 8.8 seconds on the shot clock to be exact. Scoring been a little tough to come by here. Only 6 points halfway into the first quarter for the OCAA's most offensive team.
This is a rematch of the 2021-2022 OCAA championship, but also of the CCAA national championship. These two teams met each other both times. Kind of the similar story of what happened last year with Humber and Durham.
Humber winning the gold, the national gold against St. Clair. Humber was on home court for that nationals tournament. Grant wants a foul, and he's going to get it. Not from the official that was right there, but on the other side. And the head coach for the Saints is incensed.
Looks like the the co-head coach in Brandon Sagan, 8th year here with the program. Him and Matt Skies have just done a tremendous job.
A little shy on that one. Again, a bit of a feeling out process in this heavyweight tilt so far, as scoring has been hard to come by. Grant earned 3 free throws, and he's able to get the last one. So 4-point difference right now with St. Clair making some substitutions. Well, what a treat we get to have for some Friday night hoops. A game that was originally scheduled on a Sunday that happened to be an epic snowstorm. 65 centimeters. Loyuk is battling it out here. He crashes to the hardwood. He's able to recover it. And St. Clair staying alive on this possession. Loyuk is moving his way in. It's waved off. Foul against Humber.
Looked like Savage right there. Number 15 was the one that got the call on him.
He's got a tall order. He's guarding a very effective three-point shooter, as we've talked about. Statistically, his percentage is best in the OCAA. In the body as well. Good feed, but Christian Desjardins was there to swat it away. Burke comes down, doesn't get the finish. Rebound snagged by Harmon.
How about that? One of the shorter players on the court goes up against a tall guy in Tia, and he's able to shut him down.
Yeah, once again, Desjardins was getting in the mix there, but on the second effort, the Saints convert. So the score now, 10-8. Hawks fans getting a little louder. Howie the Hawks' big old head getting right in the shot here. Good spin move, and the finish not quite there for Troy. Cutting in now was Savage.
We'll have a substitute coming in here. Looks like it'll be number 8, Elijah Loader-Frame.
Savage inbounding it. Finds Lewis. 3.5 to go in the opening quarter. And a much anticipated contest. Desjardins from the free throw line. And a quick release doesn't work out for him. And Harbin barrels in, and how about that? Drawing the foul was Victor Ndongo.
We've seen Victor Ndongo do that multiple times in his Hawks tenure. And again, a big game like this, just laying the body, that's huge for your team.
So the quick transition play for St. Clair gets put on ice. Desjardins in the game. Haven't seen him fire one off from downtown like we're accustomed to seeing. As Savage steps in, he gets his own rebound. Another crack at it. Doesn't fall. Lewis with the third effort. It looks like he might have been out of bounds, partner. Or is he shooting free throws?
I think they called it on the ground, I thought initially, but no, I guess he will be going to the line to shoot.
We mentioned back in 2022, the Humber Hawks besting the St. Clair Saints in the national tournament here at the Hawks Nest. Humber also last year winning the national gold and looking to defend that here.
I think head coach Omar Miles gave me my favorite quote of the year. I asked him, I said, what's the mindset going into today? He says, just win by 1. That's it.
Yeah,
that's all you got to do.
You know, they're just looking to win any way they can. And last time they played the Saints, it did not go Humber's way. It was a pretty decisive victory for St. Clair. Kyle's pass picked off. Savage better be careful, though, as the league leader, well, not quite the leader in steals, but one of the top steals getters in the OCAA is almost able to get one right back. Nobody works harder than the guy that just turned the ball over, partner.
Yeah, Kyle Brown-Fazekas, he is a workhorse, and he was always one of my favorite players when he was here on the Humber Hawks, just because of his ability to play the game. He won 6th Man of the Year. Then he said, I'm going to take my talents out to Windsor, and, well, he's just been on fire ever since.
Turn around for Malik, and he has not been able to get fully dialed in quite yet. Only 2 points for Humber's leading point scorer on the season. Grant averages just shy of 18 points per game. Aluyi and Savage are both tied for 2nd in Hawks scoring on the year with 12 points per game. Kazadi averaging 11.9, so might as well loop him in. So it's really quite a bottleneck for the Hawks in terms of scoring, partner. A bunch of guys that can get it done. Let's see if Ndongo can make good on a free throw here. And he does. Antwi checks in as Savage heads out for Humber. Antwi will be guarding Loyak. Sorry, partner, go ahead.
This is a Humber team that's super deep with talent. You just mentioned the players that can get the points, but I mean, everybody on the bench really can just pop off on any given night.
Big 3 ball there by Loyak.
You just said his name. You've been saying it all game long to start, but he is lethal from beyond the arc, and he's putting it on display early.
And the team as a whole pretty dangerous with the 3-point shooting, as Antwi just checked into the game, and he makes a drive to the hoop and successfully draws a foul. Zach, on the season, Andrew Loya came into this game 3-point shooting 27 for 60, so 45%. It's not like it's just a tiny, small sample size. You know, he really...
That is ridiculous.
Pretty good to sustain that over the course of the year.
That's awesome. The art of three-point shooting, I should say. We don't see it a whole lot in OCAA, but when we do, it's just such a treat to watch.
And nobody on the Saints takes more threes than Jacob Masters. He's hoisted up 109 on the year. He's made 43, so just shy of 40% for him. So another dangerous player. You see number 4 on the court there for St. Clair, currently getting some more minutes. Grant. Humber would love to see him feeling himself. Get himself inserted into this game. All kinds of players draped on him. He's not able to get that one down.
The defense just did such a great job right there for the side of St. Clair. I mean, gave nothing to Malik.
Grant off to Antwi. Only a minute left, turned over here. Up and too strong off the glass. Grant maybe playing some mind games, helping to make for no bucket there. Antwi takes a spill, and it's going to be last off of him. and St. Clair's ball.
Looks like Burke will check back into the game here for Malik Grant. Humber, they've given themselves a nice little lead here to start, but we haven't seen either offense really kind of pop off yet. It's been a lot of just the defensive stops that we've been seeing.
And here we go. Loyak, he kicks it out. Whistle came in early, though. As a foul on the floor.
Go on to Kwabena Antwi, number 12. And this is the thing that makes Humber so scary, is that you can just continue to rest players, give people time to get their energy back, because they have just a revolving door of talent.
Yeah, we got, again, such a great matchup. Two teams with so much talent on either side. Into the paint, and a shot clock violation. They'll turn it over. St. Clair has only lost 2 games all year. They came back-to-back against Mohawk on November 7th, and the next day against Niagara. Other than that, it's been a rock-solid season for the team in green. And Dongo, beautiful there. Dying seconds of the quarter. One last chance, 3 seconds left. Loyak, he fires it up. It looked good, but it won't go. And after 1 quarter of play, defense once again takes a big role in this doubleheader on HSN tonight. 17-11 in favor of Humber.
All control on the defensive side of the ball, and again, it's just something we've seen. We saw it in the first game between the women's teams in Humber and St. Clair, and we're seeing it right here again. These two squads displaying why they're 2 of the best teams in the OCAA and 2 of the top 10 teams in the CCAA.
No question. As advertised, that was fun to watch, but not what you typically see from St. Clair, in that they were rather limited in the offensive output. Only 11 points to show. Humber with the 6-point lead here. Well, Zach, let's take a look at one of the plays from that first quarter that really kind of highlight what's been the story for St. Clair. And it's been just those gradual offensive conversions. There was DJ Burke's 3-pointer. Speaking of 3-pointers from a guy who wears number 24, on the other side, Andrew Loyak for St. Clair. We mentioned his prowess from beyond the arc, and he's got 8 points for St. Clair, so really leading the way so far. Very clear one-man show in that department after 1 quarter. There he is, center stage.
I just want to talk about this. How about the field goal percentage? Humber, 4 of 16 for 25%. St. Clair, 4 of 16 for 25%. The real difference in this game is just the free throws. Humber is 8 of 11. The turnovers are basically equal. The rebounds are basically equal. Really everything here. The steals are equal. The fouls are the only thing that are lopsided. 7 for St. Clair, only 3 for Humber.
Again, 2 teams that are right beside each other in the CCAA rankings, right near the top. And no surprise, it's been a pretty even affair thus far. Rebounds overall are pretty close, but Humber does have a pretty noticeable advantage in the offensive boards, and you got to think just those second chance opportunities has enabled a pretty significant difference here. Burke swings it over to Harewood. Down to Burke now. He's in the paint. Goes to work with the spin move off the glass. A beauty.
Big move there by DJ Burke. Again, you always ask the question of who's going to be the guy to step up tonight. So far, it's been DJ Burke.
And now, Loya fires it up, won't go, snatched up by Antwi. And right down the other way, Antwi, and he takes a spill and pops right back up. Seen him do that about 100 times this year.
Antwi is some of the best athleticism that we've seen in the OCAA. A guy that really just, you'd think he has like jetpacks in his shoes, the way he can get up.
And I would say it's almost too explosive for his own good, because he oftentimes crashes so hard at the end of plays, the way he elevates, but he never shows any sign that he sort of feels that pain, or always bouncing right back up.
Yeah, just incredible athleticism out of the third-year player out of Rexdale.
This is the second, rebounded by Tia. Mazin Tia's got 3 points here so far. Looking for some daylight there, but Troy not able to find it. Now it's a Grant the other way for Humber, and he gets a beauty to fall, and if he starts to get his engine going, that could be trouble for St. Clair. And right back, a three-pointer made by Kyle Brown-Fazikis.
This is going to be the story of the game. It's just Humber's going to punch. St. Clair will punch right on back. Again, two teams that have such a storied history.
Somebody's got to tell Howie the Hawk to move up a couple rows. Blocking DJ Burke as he makes a three from well beyond the arc. Another three-pointer from that young fella.
DJ Burke was at the attack line of the volleyball court there and just said, I'm going to pop the three from here.
Loyak moves in and off the glass, but he might be a little banged up at the end of that one.
It looked like as he came down, he might have rolled that ankle.
Dang, and that's a tough look, because again, this is a player who's done most of their scoring. He's got 10 points and a chance to make it even more than that.
Yeah, they're definitely going to check on him, and it's just tough because of how good he's actually been in this game. He's been tremendous. I mean, yeah, he is really favoring that ankle.
So that'll be something to keep an eye on there for a key player. One of the best college basketball teams in the country. So timeout. Still a decent lead here for Humber.
Move down a couple rows.
I like to think Howie's listening to the game. They got speakers built into that mascot head. We love you, Howie. Don't want to see you take it the wrong way. Now here's Coach Miles. Got his team coming into this one with pretty good effort. You know, Zach, there hasn't been much to really knock for Humber. It's been a solid start, and especially defensively, and not allowing St. Clair to really get rambling and gambling in that first quarter. Again, only 11 points allowed. Only 2 players scored for St. Clair in that first quarter. 8 for Loyak and 3 for Tia. And we'll see how that ankle's going. And he misses it. He gets it right back. Fired and good. Again, Masters is an excellent three-point shooter. He shows it there.
And you can see Loyak, he's still feeling it, but he's going to just grit his teeth and play through the pain.
Yeah, he is sort of hobbling a bit, partner, to say the least. Louis fighting hard, and he gets it to go, and one.
Adrian Louis, a guy that normally doesn't show a lot of emotion on the court. He let out a huge yell after that one.
And as we wait this free throw from a Louis, a chance for a three-point play, the rolled ankle of Loyak will take him out of the game, and he's going to have a chat with the trainer. So that'll be something again. we'll keep an eye on for you.
Yeah, and you hate to see players go down with injury, especially a guy that's just had the level of impact that he has tonight. So you just got to hope that he's okay.
Looks plausible that he could get back in. Maybe just some extra tape to fortify the situation, as Humber will hang on to possession here. Plenty of time on the shot clock, about 14 seconds. Savage will put it in play, and he's looking for Harewood. Isaiah Brady Clark swings it to Grant, deep three. Might have been airmail that time.
Humber was trying to grow that lead up to double digits, but as it stands now, still an 8-point.
The former Hawk, Kyle Brown-Fazikis, great pass down low, and a nice finish by Abbas Eladani.
And Eladani hustled back on a defense after getting that basket. He has a tough task guarding Aluyi.
Rebounded by Troy, passes it up to Masters, and off the glass. And St. Clair with a couple of strong drives down the court. And the score getting a lot closer now. 4 points here, but it could be even closer after this free throw. Masters shooting 91% of his free throws on the year, and a rare miss. Guy's that good from downtown, you'd think he'd be pretty solid from the free throw line, and he is. Loose. Savage can't come away with it. Bounces up to Grant, and he loses the grip and almost jumps out of the gym.
Basically just headbutted that women's softball championship poster.
Timeout called by the Saints as things begin to swing in their direction. That said, a key player is currently on the trainer's table for them, so good and bad there. Now, on the other side, the Humber Hawks been getting a good effort from DJ Burke. He's got 8 points so far in the first half. Adrian Aluyi, and again, we talked early about that key matchup, Aluyi and Tia. So far, Adrian has been a bit more of a presence in this one, whereas Tia had some scoring early on, but has been fairly quiet since that.
This was the DJ Burke three from the logo, basically. I mean, that was just a beautiful shot all around. And even the numbers, I mean, they're still staying pretty similar. St. Clair, 9 of 23 from the field. Humber, 8 of 24. St. Clair, 4 of 8 from beyond the arc. Humber, 2 of 4. So the numbers are staying similar. The biggest discrepancy, is in the free throws. 1 of 4 for St. Clair, 9 of 13 for Humber. So they're getting the looks. It's just, the free throws. St. Clair, that's the only thing that they're falling behind in right now, and that's where the 4-point deficit is at.
Second quarter action of a fantastic Friday night matchup. And a miscue there gives Humber the ball back, so everybody come on down.
I don't think I've ever seen that. That was a first for me, partner.
Antwi gives it right back. Turnover city in that part of the court. Masters. And right back, the Saints getting a good score.
Yeah, right back into it now. It's a 2-point lead for the Hawks. Humber, you just kind of have to grit your teeth.
Burke, how about another 3-ball? That one's a little too short. And Kyle gets bumped by Antwi on the way in.
You see Masters, who's down the court, but he's saying, speed it up, bring the pace, bring everybody down. St. Clair, they want to get in control of this game. You want to control the tempo. Once you have that, the offense, the defense, everything starts flowing right. You have Humber on their back foot. To the side of the Hawks, you just got to kind of need to slow the momentum down a little bit for St. Clair.
Grant playing defense there. Ball's off to Kyle. And bumped by Desjardins, and he's going to make it. As Kyle Brown-Fazikis has 5 points now on the night.
You got to think every time that Kyle Brown-Fazikis or KBF comes back to the Hawks nest, things get a little bit more personal for the young man because, again, this was his old stomping grounds.
Grant working hard down low. Kyle Brown-Fazikis was charged with the foul there. He'll head to the bench for now. Desjardins will put it in play. Almost a little dangerous there as he sails it high. Handled by Burke. Down low now for Aluyi. Right into the hands of Isaiah Brady Clark. How's that for a man coming in on the spot?
Reigning 6th man of the year right there, IBC making a big play. Tough because I think going the other way there's a foul, and it is right on IBC. But
that's just good effort there, right?
Yeah,
just converging on the ball.
I was just going to say, I just love the play where you recognize it as a guy crashing for the board. You say, the shot's offline, right off the rip. He's going straight to the paint, and he's bodying everybody down low, and that's what you like to see.
Again, last time these teams played, it was a blowout win for St. Clair, 91-63. And Zach, it was early in that one where St. Clair got ahead, and they just kind of hung on to that lead all the way through. This game, Humber's got a lead early, but St. Clair's battled back. They're within 2 now. A chance to take the lead. They will.
3-point shooting. It's lethal. It's the best in the province, and it's on display here tonight.
Yeah, Elijah Loader frame with the three-pointer there. Here's Isaiah Brady Clark. He had a nice bucket in traffic just a moment ago. Now from way downtown and off-balance shot. Give credit to St. Clair's defense for not giving Humber anything easy to shoot there.
Yeah, that's the 3rd or 4th time we've seen that tonight where Humber, they just get stuck on the perimeter. They aren't able to make any play out of it, and it leads to just a last-second shot, just hoping and praying that it hits the rim.
Aluyi's right there with Desjardins, trying to apply some pressure. 3-ball fired by Masters, and it's good.
Yeah, they're not missing. They are now 6 of 10. Lethal 3-point shooting on display here by the Saints.
And that's a scary thing for Humber fans to see that 3-point shooting that we know is the best in the province coming alive in a big way. Masters moves in and a beauty. Troy Neckers, the second-year player, with a great effort there, and now Humber looking a little discombobulated. And it'll be St. Clair ball thanks to a heads-up play to whip it off the Hawks player.
This game has completely flipped, and it's all because of the 5th-year man, Jacob Masters. What a job he's done. 2 of 3 beyond the arc, 5 of 3 from the field, and let's not forget, he's got a couple big assists as well.
And how about that? The big block coming in by Ndongo. Humber needed that. It's going to start with the defense. Antwi to the hoop. No, that was Burke to the hoop. And he's going to get some free throws out of that. Well, how's that, partner? It looked like just the offense was coming so easy for St. Clair, but a big block from Ndongo helped maybe turn the tide a little bit. Definitely needed that.
I'm just kind of watching here, the bench trying to talk with some of their players on the court. Harewood and Desjardins are staying right on him the whole time. It doesn't matter that the play's not happening. They are staying on their man the entire time.
Intensity in a heavyweight tilt. Master has been so good driving to the hoop and making those dishes last minute. A foul will go against Humber. Christian Desjardins, that's his first personal foul.
And Humber will now have 5, so St. Clair goes into the bonus.
Zach Loyuk still hasn't checked into the game since that ankle roll it looked to be in. Ultimately, it's been the other St. Clair players sort of coming alive offensively, and since he checked out, he was leading the team in scoring, but now St. Clair actually in the lead. Making the first free throw is Ali Dani. And another free throw here from Abbas. No good. And Dongo's got it. Just over 3 minutes to go here in the first half. Humber's seen their lead disappear. They're down by 5 now. Burke spinning, doing it all by himself tonight. 12 points. And Humber within 3.
That leads the game, 12 points, DJ Burke.
Coming in, looks like Desjardins maybe to just enough. And Dongo, nice move. He's down the court. He's cutting through the lane and shooting free throws.
Things are getting interesting here. I mean, the fans are getting into it now. I don't know if you noticed during that last free throw, Abbas, he was looking. He was the one that was supposed to be taking the free throws. He wasn't aware of it at the time. Everybody on Humber is saying, "You're the one going to the line," and he says, "Relax, guys. This is my every game routine. This is what I do." Trying to play calm down there. Love it.
Looks like Loyuk is getting ready to come back into the game, partner.
That's a good sign for the side of the Saints. Again, a guy that is just...
It looks like that ankle will be a factor, especially all this time out, Zach. You know, the adrenaline can kind of keep the swelling down, but when you're just chilling for the past 10 minutes, that can really make that injury settle in a little bit. So we'll keep an eye on St. Clair's number 24 and his mobility as the score 36-34.
Hey, you can see a little bit of wincing in the face of Loyuk. He's trying to go side to side.
Doesn't look good. Humber can probably take advantage his lack of mobility at this point thanks to that injury that he's playing through, although he's getting right involved defensively with that block. And another shot in tight. Troy has really had some great plays down low for St. Clair. And you know, Zach, you also look at this St. Clair team, so strong, right? One of the top teams in the country. And looking at their roster, you see more than half the team went to the same high school in Windsor. So Kennedy, extremely well represented on this roster, and then you have guys that either kind of came up either playing with each other, having that experience coming into their post-secondary career, or just kind of grew up in the same kind of basketball leadership at their secondary school.
Well, you look at it, I mean, it's players from 5 years ago in Mazin Tia, then you have his younger brother in Musa Tia, who's in his first year now. But that school out there, secondary school Kennedy, they have just had tons of talent come out of their program.
And how's that? A high-octane play. Foul. Looks like it's going against Troy. No, scratch that. Malcolm Perrin, perhaps? At any rate, one thing you do have to start thinking about is the fouls that have been racking up gradually. St. Clair have been taking a lot of those. And could that be an important factor in a sort of war of attrition as we get later into this one? Good rebound by Parent. Jump ball called. Lucas Lewis right in the mix there.
I think our scores table is having a bit of an issue here. They jumped up quickly that the shot clock and everything went down.
We're
Technical difficulties. Do they have it?
Flashing some kind of error message, but it is now
Hold
back
on. Are
to
we
normal.
back?
Last-
Technology.
First, it was Mother Nature who wouldn't allow this game to happen, partner, with the
Now it's the
heavy
internet.
snowfall. This game, of course, was postponed in late January until tonight. And we would hate for the technical side to get in the way, but it looks like we're all good. Thumbs up from the scores table.
I think the best part was, a majority of the scores table are players from the softball team, or Brianna Clark, one of the managers on the softball
Sure.
team. They immediately jumped up, waving arms and everything, because they couldn't use the buzzer. So
Have to take
hopped up on the
matters.
chair.
We're going analog, to quote a
going analog.
promo for the program The Pit that I'm seeing way too much when I'm watching NFL football lately. Zach, we've seen the much touted three-point shooting for St. Clair be a factor in this game. And back to live action now, where Humber taking a shot from downtown. It doesn't go. Here's Loyic. Let's see how he's moving down the court. Doesn't look too bad here, but again, in between whistles, a lot of wincing. He appears to be playing through some real pain. Oof.
He still hit the shot.
Absolute money. That three did not count, but evidently one ankle is good enough.
I mean, this guy doesn't miss. Perfect release after perfect release.
So it's free throws here for Troy. And he gets number one to go.
So again, it's just been a big second quarter comeback here for St. Clair. I mean, they put up almost 30 points here in the second quarter. Their shooting has come alive, to say the least. Malik Grant will check back in. The fouls are still an issue, and that's kind of why we don't see Kyle Brown-Fazekas on the court. He has 3 fouls. You got to be careful with him. Same thing with Mazin Tia. You can't lose these guys early on or have them have high fouls going into the second half.
Desjardins fires the three and not able to chase down his rebound. Humber's offense has been a little flat in the second quarter.
Yeah, they've been halted basically completely. Only 17 points to boot. And 17 points isn't bad. It's just when the other team is putting up 30, it's a big note.
Zach, the score in this quarter alone is 32-17. So that certainly helps to illustrate that St. Clair has won this quarter in a big way. Still a minute to go here for the Hawks to try and flip the script. They're down by 9 right now. Came into this quarter with a 6-point lead, and that has vanished. Foul call here. I think Lucas Lewis is going to get the charge there, as he's now got 2 personal fouls.
Humber starting to get into that trouble, the foul trouble problems here late in the second quarter. And really everything is going right for the side of St. Clair. They are just not missing from beyond the arc, and I think that's the biggest tell right now.
Here comes the free throw. Can't get the first one to go.
Again, a game with so much on the line here.
Troy's only taken 26 free throws so far this season. Coming into today, he's made 53% of those on the season and able to make one there. Here comes Grant. We've seen some pretty good plays out of him here in the first half, partner, at times. Let's see if he can insert himself even more into this game. Burke with another 3-ball.
Big time Burke striking again.
He's just continuing, yes, to strike from downtown. A quick bucket answered there. And Burke takes a spill. It's turned over. Humber not happy with how that played out. My goodness, timeout called. And St. Clair fired up as their lead now up to 11.
I mean, everything's gone right for them here in the second quarter. They have basically doubled what they scored, nearly tripled what they scored in the first quarter alone.
And they're working hard. We're looking in right in front of us, an exhausted Troy Neckers. He's been running up and down the court and getting some love from his coaches here as he gets the Powerade dialed up. And on the other side, it's a different vibe from the Humber Hawks. It's not been their quarter as St. Clair continues to dominate here in the second quarter, whereas the first was really much more favorable for Humber.
Well, just in this quarter alone, I mean, coming into it, St. Clair was shooting 4 of 16. They're now shooting 17 of 33. They jumped it up 25%. They're shooting 51.5% right now. And beyond the arc, they've drained 5 triples. They were 2 of 5, now they're 7 of 11. It has been a complete turnaround for this squad. And again, they understand the stipulations. They win, they control the West.
And Dongo gets his man to go up, and he's fouled there. That's going to go against Harmon, who comes to this team by way of Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Brandon Harmon, that's his 3rd foul. So again, multiple players in foul trouble here for the side of St. Clair. Kyle Brown-Fazekas has 3. Harmon has 3. Abbas has 3. Abbas has 2. Tia has 2.
And into the game, the younger Tia Musa, first-year guy, standing 6'10", standing next to Aluyi there as Ndongo gets ready to hopefully knock down another free throw and get his team back within a single-digit margin. He'll do that. So another timeout called here. And what a turn of events. First half fireworks. And Humber now drawing a little closer, Zach, but you know, these last 16 seconds could be big. You know, can St. Clair hold the ball and maybe just fire off one of their trademark threes here, or can the Hawks maybe get a little something going and look even better heading into the intermission?
Yeah, they've had 7 players score.
So not 1, not 2, but 3 from downtown from Burke here so far.
Yeah, Burke's shooting really well. 5 of 8 total on the game, 3 of 5 from beyond the arc, and he's come up clutch when the Hawks need him. But now you gotta hope it continues here if you're Burke. You can't go cold into the second half. This is a Humber team. You mentioned it. They are the reigning OCAA and not OCAA champions. They're the reigning CCAA champions. And they've been here before against top competition. You know, we can go all the way back to last year against Durham. Durham came in here, and this is exactly what they were doing in that OCAA championship game. Durham did end up taking it, but I want to see how this team can learn from that game last year and can, you know, bounce back here.
Yeah, Durham getting the upper hand over Humber last year in the provincial championship, but then it was reversed in the national with Humber coming away with CCAA gold last year. Last few seconds, fired and off target. That will do it after one half. St. Clair came roaring back. A very strong showing in the second quarter for the visiting team and a score of 48-39. We'll step aside briefly and rejoin you after a quick break for more OCAA men's basketball action. The finale of this heavyweight bout on the way after this. Welcome back to the Hawks Nest. Second half of what so far has been what it's been billed as is two of the best teams in the country squaring off, and it's delivered so far. And after a strong second quarter from the St. Clair Saints, they enter the second half with a 9-point lead. I'm Matt Hamill here with you alongside Zach Benoit. Zach, your takeaways from a pretty electric first two quarters.
Well, for starters, the three-point shooting from St. Clair, it's been fantastic, almost 60%. I was walking in the hallway, I was talking with Omar Miles, the head coach of Humber, and he said, "What did I tell you? Got to win by one." And I looked at him, I said, "Well, it's been a competitive game." He goes, "Been a good game." He goes, "Hasn't been that good." They scored 37 in the second.
Yeah, that was certainly a big takeaway, is how much their offense came alive. They were uncharacteristically quiet, but after the first quarter, St. Clair had only 11 points, and Zach, they finished with 48, so that's just an eye-popping offensive output there, and they'll quickly draw the foul as Tia getting involved early.
Again, if you're Humber, you got to look at a player like Mazin Tia and Kyle Brown-Fazekas, two guys that are in foul trouble here to start the second half.
And that foul puts Antwi in some trouble of his own. He's got 3 fouls to his name at the beginning of the second half, so he'll have to maybe adjust his play style a little bit defensively. Here he is with the ball, Kwabena Antwi. Dishes it to Grant and gets it right back. Being guarded well here. Urji Kunami. Fired by Antwi, and no good. Rebounded by Mazintia. Kyle loses the grip.
Look at the defense that is being put on right now by St. Clair. Malik Grant, he's doing everything that he can, but it's Neckers that is just doing a great job clamping him right now. That's the reigning OCAA Player of the Year as well, and he is just being locked up right now by 23.
Yeah, the defending national champion, Malik Grant, and Humber getting to benefit from his services once again this year. Nice move by Aluyi. Rebounded underneath the hoop, and foul drawn there as we'll get some free throws from Benny Kazadi.
And Benny Kazadi, we didn't really see him in the second quarter a whole lot. He was moved towards the bench. He had 2 rebounds in the first quarter, and that was basically it for Kazadi. And if you can get him going, we know how good Benny Kazadi is and the type of talent that he brings to the court.
No question. He's been pretty quiet so far, offensively at least. Had no points yet until he went to the free throw line, and will finish still without any scoring here tonight. Grant gets it. Humber with a second chance here. Grant trying to back his man down. Still can't get it to go. Rebounded there by Aluyi, and doing what he does best.
Yeah, he's just fighting down low in the trenches right now. You got to activate Adrian Aluyi down there, and once he gets going, that's when things get scary.
So early in this game, we pointed out that St. Clair is the #1 3-point shooting team, but that's really more of a piece of the bigger picture, which is they're the team so far across Ontario averaging the most points per game. And boy, oh boy, did they ever show that in the second quarter. Pull-up shot here, I won't go, but the rebound is right in the hands of Tia, and he makes good.
Yeah, you got to respect the threat from beyond the arc and what Jacob Masters has done so far in this game. He was 2 of 3 before that shot.
51-41. Grant with the 3 ball. And that's going to be a call against the Saints. It's on number 14, Tia, who is a guy that they were kind of resting a bit on account of some of the foul trouble he's gotten into, and there he goes again, heading off.
That's his second of the game, so thought he was in more foul trouble earlier, but no, he's only at 2.
I thought I saw 3 up on the board there, but maybe we have the miscalculation as Kazadi streaks in, and that's just a great offensive play there for Humber to get the bucket. Humber needs a defensive stand. They're still down by a couple of possessions, but the 3 ball. And how's that for another shot from downtown to help St. Clair rack up these points?
Yeah, it has just been like a dagger every time they're going up for a 3. They are just not missing.
Kazadi's calling for it. He's going to get it. A lot of space to work with, but he's bumped. So another foul against St. Clair. This time it's on Troy Neckers. He's got 2 personal fouls now. Put up a very strong 12 points tonight.
He had a big second half. I mean, all of his scoring basically came from there.
No question. I mean, that second quarter was big for, it felt like we were saying his name constantly, as Kazadi fires one off. And he gets his own rebound, but he barrels into a member of the Saints. And I think that was Kyle Brown-Fazekas drawing it there.
Why am I not surprised? Kyle Brown-Fazekas, that's exactly what he does. That's the type of player he is. He will lay the body on the line 10 times out of 10.
Moving in once again, Troy with a good stab to the hoop, but it won't fall. Louis gets the pass in tight and finishes. The only player with a higher field goal percentage in the province, higher than Louis, is on the other side, Mazentia, as that pass heads toward the popcorn machine. Looks like they're sort of cleaning up for the night, partners, so if you haven't gotten your bag of Hawk's Nest popcorn, it looks like it's too late.
Might as well just go home. Just kidding, gotta stay to watch the thriller that is this one.
And Tweed gets across the timeline, and his pass is deflected. Once again, Troy Neckers, he's just all over the court here tonight. And he's guarding a pretty tough assignment in Malik Grant. Thus far, Grant has been held to much quieter than we typically see.
Good matchup down low right now with Louis.
Louis gets a bit of space, and he drills it.
Yeah, Louis was down in the corner. He had a good job. He drew the defense away, and that opened up the floor for Kwabena Antwi. Really good job right there.
Kyle has it on that near side, being guarded by Kwabena. Up top here, Masters with the shot clock winding down, does a little NBA street move behind the back, and the buzzer goes, the shot clock violation.
Yeah, Masters, he just kind of got tangled up with himself. He wanted to go behind the back in, his movement, but he caught it on his back. It was just an awkward play. He stopped the dribble, and that's what kind of led to that shot clock violation. This has been a really good stretch for Humber. You need a big basket here, though, to keep cutting the lead down.
Louis spin move, another bucket for Adrian.
Man, Adrian Louis has just gotten so good. He continues to grow, continues to develop, and he's just such a dynamic player, both on defense and offense.
Humber now making it closer, a 5-point difference. Good defensive plays, a couple good defensive stands being strung together by Humber, but the fast break won't go. Loyak second guesses it, and he hands it off to Kyle. Troy off the glass and in. Another strong play.
Yeah, it was a late whistle, but there was contact on Troy as he went up. You mentioned it. He had himself a big second quarter, and he's continuing it here.
Just under 5 minutes left here in this third quarter. Humber, the defending national champs, coming into this matchup, ranked number 6 in the nation. Right ahead of them in those national rankings is St. Clair. And another solid bucket from Kyle. So that's going to put the Saints back up by 9.
Yeah, Brown Fazekas just completely shook Grant off and had a wide open layup there.
Grant and one. And boy, he needed that to get his vibe up and look to him to keep things rolling from there. Zach, the Hawks came into this quarter down by 9. So, you know, especially with Coach Omar Miles's pregame wisdom about, hey, the goal is to just get ahead here, even if it's by a single point. And you'd like to see Humber, I think, get a little closer here. Make sure they win this quarter, because boy, oh boy, did St. Clair ever win the second quarter by a decisive margin.
15 to be exact.
Grant guarding Loader Frame. Hands it off to Ellie Danny, and it's turned over. Burke with it. He's been nailing them from downtown today. This time he hands it off. Louis trying his best. He wants a foul call. He feels like he had a member of the Saints draped all over him. Might have been Burke, actually, who was fighting for that one.
Malik Grant is walking down with the official. I asked him, saying, what happened on that play? And in the official's ear beside him is Kyle Brown. He's going, that was a good call. That was a good call. Very good call. That was great.
Chaotic scene for that ref, just trying to live. Here we go. Burke moving in off the glass, and a solid fast break bucket there for Humber.
Yeah, DJ Burke, he was really the hero in the first half. They might have to lean on him again. That's a good defensive stop as well by 24, having himself a solid night.
Yeah, just great contributions from Burke, both offensively and in the defensive zone. Loader Frame dishes it off. Another 3-ball, and Brandon Harmon, just the latest St. Clair Saints to fire off a dagger from deep.
Yeah, and if you're Humber, you can't just keep giving them that open look from 3. This is a team that you can't play that 50-50 game with. They're going to hit it majority of the time.
Grant is being guarded closely. He gets some separation, and the Hawks Nest goes berserk after that one.
And that's what they needed, because that fires up Malik Grant. You get him going, the whole team gets going.
A massive momentum play. No question about it. Discombobulated are the Saints. Louis comes in, and he's fouled. Louis still on the hardwood there. Goodness, what a fight we're watching here between these two teams. Humber's back within 4. Zach, let's take one more look at Malik Grant's showstopper. Might not have time. We'll chamber that one, because it was
put that one in the archives for later.
Worth watching. I mean, that was a huge play. The defender kind of sliding off of him, and Louis, glad to see he's back on his feet. And you got to give credit to another player who's gotten banged up but stayed in the game, Andrew Loyuk. Kelly, he's been limping around, but still in the game for the Saints. That said, Zach, Loyuk had 10 points when he got injured, and since he's come back, has not added to that total. But a lot of other Saints have stepped up in a big way. Here's Loyuk kind of fighting with it right now with Kyle Brown Fazekas. Shot clock winding down, 2 seconds left, gotta let it go. Gets it off somehow. And a chaotic sequence. We'll see Humber come away with it. Savage runs into a gauntlet. Foul might be going to Harmon. No, it'll be against number 21, Abbas Alidani.
Yeah, substitutions come in here for the side of the Saints, but we said that three-pointer by Malik Grant, that was the momentum shift in this game. That's what the Hawks needed, and you see here, the Hawks Nest, they're a little bit more active. Players are starting to get heated up a little bit. Savage is draining free throws.
Got a good crowd on hand. This camera shot right here is showing the sort of smaller sections. We have the much larger seating area behind the camera view, which has got a good amount of people out for this Friday night game. And yes, when Grant hit that massive three-pointer, the energy picked up in a big way. It's all tied up at 61 here with 2.5 to go in the third. Moving in is Troy. He hands it to Masters, and a three-pointer that won't go. And Dongo with another solid grab there on the rebound.
Yeah, the pump fake, Masters just left it short. Oh, what a move by Savage.
Yeah, that was massive. He came in with a lot of speed and converted. Now the Hawks have the lead back. Great pass down low, and Burke fouled. Perrin went up, and Burke had no choice but to just land on top of the shooter.
Good pump fake again.
He'd already gone airborne,
yeah.
exactly.
That's all you can do. You gotta just hope you don't get hurt or hurt anybody when you're coming down. What a game. What a game we've been treated to. St. Clair outscored Humber 37-22 in the second quarter. Humber has come out of the halftime break 24-13 here in the quarter.
Well, a game, again, that was originally scheduled back in the end of January. Epic snowstorm delayed that one. This game worth the wait, though. As we get close to the end of the third, it looks like we'll be treated to a pretty spicy finish. Perrin shooting more free throws.
Yeah, it looked like a loose ball foul. I believe it was on Victor and Dongo. Saints have 16 turnovers, and Humber has completely used that to their advantage. They've scored 14 points off turnovers. St. Clair only 6. Shooting percentage for the Hawks has risen completely. They're up to 40 now on the game.
And the second free throw is good. This game is back all tied up. Savage had a great bucket just a few moments ago. He's going to hand it off this time. And Dongo way out. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Savage steps inside the arc, and he nails another one.
How about that? The new man on the block. The JUCO transfer in, Savage, comes back home, and the Hawks say, hey, we can use another body in the roster.
And that's stripped away by Kazadi.
I like to see that by Kazadi. It's been a tough night for him offensively. He's wanted a couple shots. He just hasn't gotten the look, but he keeps his head up, plays strong defense. That's a big play out of number 23.
Savage is racking up the points here in the third quarter, and he gets another bucket. And St. Clair calls a timeout as things are really...
Actually, there was a technical on Savage. A little bit of a celebration afterwards. He went up with the contact right in his defender's face like this.
Oh, that's a...
Tempers are starting to heat up here, partner.
My goodness. So a mental mistake but that's kind of been the tone of the game, right? There's definitely been that aggression, the back and forth, and for the first time in the game, so there was a timeout called. It just got, the officials had other fish to fry as they were sorting out that technical. So it takes the score to a 3-point lead for Humber. So Zach, it's not the perfect outcome there for Humber, but all in all, this third quarter has been trending favorably for the team wearing white here tonight.
Well, just a beautiful answer back, really, from that second quarter. I mean, they're closing in on 30 points. It's a complete 180 from what we saw, and this has just been a tremendous game as a whole. Both teams, I mean, going back and forth. We've seen players take over. We saw Masters take over in that second quarter. We saw Neckers take over in that second quarter. Here in the third, we're seeing Malik Grant pick things up. We're seeing DJ Burke continue his dominant run. Adrian Alui had some big buckets early on in the third. Tremendous game.
Yeah, in this quarter, Humber outscoring the Saints 28-16. And you said exactly what the doctor ordered. That's now given Humber the lead, 67-64. Less than a minute to go in the third, and a nice off the glass move as Troy continues to really make his presence known here in this game.
Yeah, he's made a big impact. And how about this guarding? Malik Grant doing a really good job of it.
Switches off to Kazadi now. He dishes it to Ndongo and gets a nice bounce off the rim. Humber's lead back to 3. And sailing in, and it's just been a tough sledding type of situation there for Loyic ever since he rolled that ankle. 6 seconds on the clock. Grant to Kazadi, loses the grip, gotta fire it off. Not able to. A bit of a tough one there with St. Clair's defense converging, but after 3 quarters of play, Humber leads by 3. Zach, we've seen teams really winning quarters pretty decisively, but now we head into the final frame with a score that is very close, so feels like it's all just coming down to the next 10 minutes.
Well, they say it, the most important time in a basketball game is the final minute. We've seen it numerous times, and wouldn't be surprised if we saw it here. This has just been really an instant classic. These two teams putting on a strong performance. It was the St. Clair takeover in the second quarter. No, it was the Humber Hawks' resurge in that third. What do we have for the fourth? What's going to happen? Can't wait to find out.
Well, Zach, for the Hawks, they're going to maybe hope that the sort of ping pong match of this game, they can maybe disrupt that, because Humber won the first quarter, and then St. Clair really roared back and dominated the second. Now Humber really got the winning edge there in that third quarter, but they don't want to see things tilt back into St. Clair's favor. But this really just feels like a war, you know, these two tough teams, and they are both acutely aware of the implications standings-wise. Again, these are teams that are number 1 and 2 in the OCAA West Division. Of course, a lot rides on that number 1 seed.
Yeah, if Humber come away with this one, they can hold on to number 1.
And again, St. Clair coming into this one on a 10-game win streak. Here's a look at Malik Grant. Get off of me. And from way downtown. And
that was the turning point in that third quarter, was that Malik Grant shot. You think about it, that happens, he misses the shot. St. Clair are probably still in control. They're feeling good about themselves. Malik hits that shot, and you know, everybody in the crowd's going crazy. Everybody's erupting. Humber is using that as fuel, and that's really what turned things on.
give credit to Savage as well. He was clutch in the third. A couple of great plays, doing it himself at times. And Dongo gives it back. Here's Grant in a familiar spot. As he's fouled. I think that was just for 2.
Did a really good job in drawing in his defender. And Loyak in. Grant will go to the line to try to extend this lead some more. Grant had 4 points coming into the second quarter, or second half, excuse me, up to 10.
And what a weapon he is, and could be a real problem for St. Clair if he steps into an even bigger offensive role here in this fourth quarter. Every quarter has such a unique dynamic to it, so you just don't know what you're going to get. Sort of like a box of chocolates in that way, partner.
You're getting the caramel, or you're getting the milk chocolate. You'll find out.
Three-pointer. And St. Clair, again, we talked about how good they are from beyond the arc. Loyak steps in, and he gets it to fall off the glass. Loyak still, you can tell he's playing through some discomfort, but he's moving around pretty well at this point. Grant with another one.
Even Malik was a little bit, shocked at that one. He thought it was offline. He said, I'll take it.
Trying to get around the Humber defenders, and Dongo was in the right spot. Gets it to Antwi, spins, and he is stripped, but last touch by the Saints. They're protesting, but we'll have a meeting here. It's a convincing protest by St. Clair, I will say. And they will be successful with the other official overruling. Here we go. St. Clair in the zone. They've got a 5-point deficit they're trying to climb out of. Foul against Aluyi. Not sure how many. He'll have to check. That's his second personal foul. A three-pointer off the glass.
Using the window for some support there was Neckers.
The Saints were dynamite with the three-point shooting in the second quarter. Not so much in the first or the third. We'll see if the fourth maybe looks a bit more like the second. Here comes DJ Burke, and he doesn't quite get enough on it. What's going to be the call? It'll be St. Clair's. Ultimately, it's going to be St. Clair ball. Savage checked back into the game for Humber. And again, you can look at that Grant three-pointer earlier in the second half. That really was a turning point, but Savage has had so many great plays. See if he can continue some of that excellence. Loyak steps in. He's meeting all kinds of adversity. And Dongo, another clutch rebound. He's been solid in that regard.
And I don't know if you saw, Adrian Aluyi got a hand to the ball there for Loyak. And Adrian is just continuing to have a good game down low.
Trying to get past Tia. That's a excellent battle. That'll be Mazin Tia's third personal foul. He's telling his coaches, hey, thumbs up, I'm all good. But they said, we're going to take you out anyway. A valuable player that they want. Make sure, especially this one, who knows, partner goes an extra frame perhaps. It's a pretty close score.
Well, this is kind of golden territory for the Hawks because Brown Fazekas, he's out. He has 3 fouls. Tia, he's out. He has 3. And Harmon as well has 3. So, as I say that, Brown Fazekas is going to be checking back into the game.
The foul trouble, definitely something that became apparent for St. Clair, even in the second quarter.
They have 23 fouls on the night so far.
So how might that factor in as we get into the championship rounds of this fantastic ball game? Savage, deep shot, off balance and won't go. Loyak passes up the three and just a gorgeous pass. Nothing difficult about that effort there from Kunami.
Yeah, Hawks lead by 1 right now, 74-73.
Pass off target from Savage. So J.R. Harewood comes in for Humber, and so does Isaiah Brady Clark. Aluyi and Grant will get some rest for the time being, but we'll expect those two to be back in the mix soon. Kyle hands it off to Loader Frame, and a circus shot is ripped away on the rebound by Savage. Savage is deep with it right now, trying to make his way towards the promised land. Here comes Ndongo. Still being guarded tightly in a shaky pass, and it's picked off. An easy bucket for Kyle.
Yeah, just the defense has been the difference maker here.
Just over 6 minutes to go, and another turnover here. Oh no, and a foul against Isaiah Brady Clark. So a sloppy Joe couple of plays here from Humber is really helping to shift the momentum into St. Clair's side.
And again, it's all because of the defensive aggressiveness from Kyle Brown-Fazekas. He's really setting the tone. When he's on the court, you can see the difference. Doing a great job right now facilitating this offense and really just dictating what's happening on defense. Big moments here. The entire season basically riding on the next 6 minutes and 3 seconds here for both of these teams.
Yeah, there's such a big implication for the standings with this one. And again, we're looking at what many consider the two best teams in Ontario.
Again, if you don't know why the stipulations are so important when it comes to the standings, well, it would be the highest seed in the West Division would host the Final Four. And that's a big implication because the Hawks, when they have home court advantage, we've seen it in the past, it can reign supreme.
Ball's out of bounds here. You hear Grant is hollering at his team, wake up, it sounds like he's saying. And Humber certainly looking a little flat here, and another miscue as Ndongo gets his man a little tripped up. And a chaotic sequence now as Humber gets it back, but my goodness, Zach, how many times is Humber just gonna lose the grip and the shot clock? And Humber thinking, got caught off guard there. I'll admit I did as well.
I mean, DJ Burke is still down in a heap. He got poked right in the eye.
And DJ Burke will head to the bench as he appears to be in a lot of discomfort. Kazadi into the game for him. Tension is high as we head into the last 5.5 minutes of regulation. Loyak with it real deep. He's being guarded by Ndongo. Now he makes his way in and not getting it to go. Oh, a goaltending. I'm not sure if there was a foul there, partner, or just the automatic bucket.
Yeah, it would be an automatic bucket there, and that's a big one for St. Clair. You extend this lead now to 5. Malik Grant, he's still saying to his team, clapping, saying, wake up.
Yeah, he's been beating that drum, as now Grant looks like he takes a poke up in the face. And the vibes are just not quite where Humber would like them to be right now, to say the least. It's like Humber needs to tighten up offensively. And again, even a sketchy inbound pass is just very on brand for how Humber's been playing the last few minutes here. And right in the hands of an adversary, Kunami can't convert, so Humber getting lucky. A few of these turnovers are just not being converted on. And there's another play from Savage that was a big part of his arsenal in the third quarter.
That's what I want to keep seeing out of Nathan Savage. Use your speed, use your acceleration. He's so good after the first step.
And Dongo getting right there, not quite able to get the steal. But good defense by Humber. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Loyuk steps back. And he just hasn't quite looked the same offensively since he rolled up that ankle. And we have an official overturning. It looks like the shot clock violation went off, partner. Now
they want 14 put back on the shot clock.
So it's a good outcome for St. Clair. They'll get the ball on the baseline with 14 seconds on the shot clock. These possessions get big here as it's winding down. 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Solid pass and another big bucket by Ali Dani.
Somebody from the side of the Hawks, they just got to get a spark going. We saw Malik Grant do it in the third. Who's going to be the one to step up here in the last 4 minutes?
Savage thought about the three, going right back to the well. He's been getting so many of those to drop here in the second half. Not that time.
There's a lot of contact going up there too. It looked like when he got up there, the defender kind of bobbled the ball out of his hand, so he kind of just spearheaded up.
Grant playing some good defense. They're going to say it was last touched by Humber, much to the protest of Grant. .7 seconds on the shot clock. Kunami nails it from way downtown. Humber calls a timeout. And it is all St. Clair Saints here in the last few minutes.
From the logo. From the logo. Wow.
Remember, Humber lost earlier this year to St. Clair. This is their chance for redemption. And as up and down as this game has been in the fourth quarter, it's been St. Clair in the driver's seat. We'll take another look here at
I need to see this.
Sent us into the timeout.
Look at this. Steps back from the wing of the Hawk, drains it, nothing but net. That is just ridiculous stuff. The Saints, their three-point shot, 11 of 21. They're shooting over 50% right now. 52.4. They're not missing from beyond the arc.
Yeah, shooting even better than average on the year. They're best in the OCAA with those three-pointers at 36.5%. So what better way to take down a adversary that's a tough opponent like Humber by really shining even brighter in that department with these three-pointers. It'll be Humber ball out of the timeout. Hawks trail by 8. They've dug themselves a bit of a hole. Sloppy offensive play has been a big part of that. Grant takes it himself and around in a beautiful finish.
And they needed that bucket there. You got to kind of get the offense rolling again here for the Humber Hawks. Currently down by 6. Not out of it just yet, but you need to stop.
A solid pass, and getting the hand in there was Aluyi.
That's what Adrian Aluyi does best. Really active hands down there in the paint.
Ali Downey looked like he had another very high percentage chance, but it was tipped away. Now stolen by Burke. Savage, three-pointer, it was almost good. It's on the inside of that rim.
You see here, this is a great call by the head coach, Brandon Sagan, just saying, slow down, play your game. Oh, here we go.
And Burke with the finish, and Humber back within 4.
Again, you got to transition the defense into offense. You get the stops, you got to make sure you're getting production.
Oh boy, after the timeout, it's just been a comedy of errors from St. Clair. You know, Zach, this is what we were seeing from Humber earlier in the fourth quarter. It was just a lot of poor ball handling, and right now it's totally flipped. It will remain St. Clair's ball with 13 seconds on the shot clock. Ndongo into the game for Humber. Savage checks out. Masters pass out of reach. Humber fans are getting excited. They feel things tilting back in their favor.
That 4-point game, 2:20 left to go. The Hawks have been fueled by Malik Grant. Does he have one more trick to pull out of the bag here in his last game at home?
Three-pointer. It's tipped away by Antwi in the hands of Kyle Brown-Fazikis. And St. Clair setting up on offense. They're up by 4. 2 minutes on the clock here in the fourth quarter. St. Clair's been struggling to find a bucket lately. The defensive play for Humber comes up big again.
That's just really good by Aluyi. You just go up straight with the hands.
Antwi is blocked.
Mazin on the other side does the exact same thing.
And too hot to handle there, but right back to the hoop. Tia with the prayer. Kyle's trying to throw it off a player. Chaotic sequence. It's in the hands of Loya. Still being battered around. What is going on out there?
How do we even break that down? What just happened?
Benny Hill music to
oh my Lord.
80-84 is what the score remains. Foul looks like it went against Jacob Masters after all of that.
So it all started with a pass back down to the baseline that was over the head of Kyle Brown-Fazikis. He tries to keep it in, tries to smack it off the legs of Nathan Savage. Savage does the best dodgeball move I've ever seen in my life, gets out of the way. It's a high bouncing ball that's just out of the reach of Malik Grant, which is a wild sentence to say because that man has a really long wingspan.
And then
chaos
more
just
insanity
ensued.
from
I mean,
there.
what just happened?
Either way, Humber now with 1:20 on the clock. They're still down by 4. Burke has been nailing the three-pointers at times. Not here. And we're getting into the final minute.
Yeah, and I understand wanting the big shot right there, but it wasn't a smart one. Brown-Fazikis was just all over DJ Burke.
It's a big test for Humber here. Can they come back? They're in a tight spot. Pass down low to Tia. And the leader in field goal percentage with a clutch one there.
Yeah, Tia has been so good all year long, and he just proved it right there. Big-time players make big-time buckets.
Savage blaze it in. He turns it over. And it's going to be St. Clair basketball with 40 seconds on the clock. So the official clock here in the gym has 40 on it, and Humber will use anything they can get in terms of time on the clock as it's getting into dicey territory now. Burke tries to steal it away, and he's called for a foul.
No, I think it was called on Neckers,
Oh, okay.
I believe.
But that was enough to slow the play down.
I think what Humber's trying to argue is that it would have been a clear path foul. Nonetheless, well, oh no, it is on DJ Burke. Okay, I thought they were going to call that.
And getting it right back. I guess the basketball gods giving Humber something there. So chaotic sequence continues here. And a timeout so we can all take a deep breath.
We need to just digest what has just happened in the last about 2 to 3 minutes, because partner, what is going on in this game? We knew this was going to be a battle between these two teams, but it's like a chess match right now. You make a mistake, the other team, they are just piling on every single time, and that's what we've seen. Humber has had their run. St. Clair has answered right on back with a run of their own. Humber answers back. St. Clair, the latest, they answer back. They're up by 6 with 35 seconds left.
Partner, it's quite the sequence, sort of a demolition derby at times. I don't know where to look. It's been a chaotic couple of plays, but a timeout here to maybe settle everything down and see what we get in the final 35 seconds of basketball here.
To end the season, St. Clair has Canador, Conestoga, then Redeemer. So this is a huge one. Again, we've been talking about it the entire time. This game has a lot of implications. If St. Clair wins, first place in the West, most likely locked up for the rest of the season. Fate is in their hands. Humber still controls their own destiny. If they win, they basically lock up the first seed in the West Division. Again, the fate is in their hands.
And it's going to be Humber with it on the baseline. Passed into Grant. Three-pointer is off the front of the rim. Burke gets it. Back to Grant. He shoots it again from way downtown. It's rebounded by Kyle. Humber's going to get the ball, it looks like. So Grant with back-to-back deep threes. No, it will be St. Clair's ball. I thought they pointed. Okay, 21.7 on the clock now. Last touch by Antwi, and precious seconds are ticking away here.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a tough one here for the Hawks. That is just a tough sequence. Malik Grant, again, you go to your best player in a moment like that and just not able to come up with a big shot. I mean, barring any crazy things, and we have seen some crazy things here tonight. It looks like the Saints are going to storm into the Hawks' nest and steal away the #1 seed in the West Division.
And sweep the season series if that comes to fruition. And again, Zach, this is, you just look at the matchups and how they've gone recently. Humber has won 11 straight at home against St. Clair, dating back to the 2013-2014 season. And that is in jeopardy right now.
This has just been some of the best shooting I think we've seen here by a visiting team in a very long time. I mean, to be about 50% from beyond the arc, as effective and efficient as St. Clair has been, this coaching staff of Skies and Sagan, they could be completely happy with what they've seen out of their team today. This is truthfully some of the best shooting we've seen.
Yeah, we've got two powerhouse teams in the crib tonight, and St. Clair with a very important 6-point lead right now. 14 seconds on the shot clock here with the inbounds pass coming in. And Aluyi dives, and looks like it's a foul against him. So all that foul trouble we talked about for St. Clair, partner, didn't quite end up coming to fruition. as they were able to hang on and keep their valuable players in the game. Tia using the height, grabs that, and Antwi will foul.
And just with the time left and the score being what it is, just trying to get out of the formalities here.
Well, our doubleheader saw the Humber women's team victorious over St. Clair. But at least one of the St. Clair teams on that bus ride back to Windsor might be happy campers.
And it's just gotten so quiet in here, you can hear a pin drop.
And a big free throw there, a timeout. Humber needing something of a miracle at this point.
Well, I mean, how do we even start to break this game down when you look at it as a whole? This was just two powerhouse teams that kind of squared off. This is what we were hoping to see back in the snowstorm on that Sunday. And we've seen it here.
Sunday, yeah. And you mentioned it. This was worth the wait. But ultimately, Zach, it was a first quarter that went Humber's way. The second was for St. Clair, and that pattern just continued, where the third was a decisive performance from Humber, and then the fourth quarter here swung back to St. Clair. And if you had to pick one quarter that you wanted to have the leading edge in, you'd put your money on the fourth. And that was what St. Clair really owned today. And it looks like it's enough.
Well, yeah, when it comes down to it, in both halves, it was the Hawks coming out hot in the first quarter of the half. In the second quarter of each half, St. Clair just blew the doors off of Humber. And that's the difference maker in this game.
The 10-game win streak for St. Clair continues, and it might even stretch all the way into the postseason. Off the score clock.
St. Clair outscored Humber in the second and fourth quarter, 59-33. A tale of two quarters, really. Humber outscored St. Clair 47-29 in the first and third. But the Saints come marching into town, and they will take it.
Well, it's been fun to watch. We hope you have enjoyed it as well. From all of us here at the Hawks Sports Network, it's been our pleasure to present you this great OCAA men's basketball matchup. We had a fun women's game to start things off. And we'll see if these teams get a chance to meet again. But so far, after two contests this year, St. Clair comes out on top both times. The first one, a very large margin of victory. This time, St. Clair getting out of here much closer. The score, 88-80 is our final. It's been a pleasure having you here, Zach. Any final words as we sign off with our final regular season basketball game of the year?
Yeah, again, I said it in the women's game, but I'll say it again. Just a huge thank you to everybody here at HSN. All the wonderful students that are working the ones and twos on the cameras. You don't see them, but I can see all of them back there working the cameras, doing a great job. All the ones in the truck, thank you so much. All the professors doing a great job helping out these students. So everybody working here with us, working alongside you, partner.
I was going to say, you did pretty all right yourself, partner.
It's been a tremendous year, and, postseason, here we come.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time here on the Hawks Sports Network.